Welcome to your Yin Fusion class. Tonight you're going to need a yoga mat. You're going to need 2 blocks. So if you don't have 2 blocks, go and grab 2 books that are similar size and height. So maybe 2 Harry Potter books or Lord of the Rings, something that's thicker. You're going to need a blanket or a towel. Beach towels are great. And you're going to need a bolster or 2 thicker couch pillows, or maybe pillows for your bed. If you have nice big thick pillows, you're going to need 2 of those. All right. I'm going to push my own screen up. There we go. So this is a live class. I have a class right here that I'm teaching and making sure that I can see them, the ones that have their videos on. Perfect. So come to seated on your pillow. Your ankles are supported on your blanket. And we're just going to take a moment to drop into the body. So we're usually up in the mind, so I want you to take your hand on your heart. And I want you to take a deep breath into your hand. And exhale out through the mouth. Take a moment to drop from your head to your heart. Inhale through the nose into the hand. Exhale out through the mouth. One more like that. Inhale to your hand on your heart. Exhale out through the mouth. And I want you to take a moment to notice how you really feel today. How do you feel? Be honest with yourself. How do I feel right now? With your hand on your heart, just sharing it with yourself. Might be I feel overwhelmed, I feel sad, I feel excited, I feel joyful, I feel grateful. Whatever it is, just feel it and just acknowledge what that is. Let that hand come down to the knees. Inhale, shoulders back, sit up tall. And exhale, you're going to slowly let your right ear roll to your right shoulder. Take your left hand, drop it down to the ground. Big breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Try to soften the jaw, soften the face. Inhale in. Exhale out. Softening the throat too. Last time in. Exhale out. Inhale, lift your left hand up. Exhale, you're going to bring your chin down towards your chest and rock your neck. Just a little bit of swaying here, as if you had a little pen at the tip of your nose. You're drawing happy faces back and forth. Noticing how the back of your neck feels. Inhale and exhale, left ear to left shoulders. Soften the shoulders. And then let that right hand fall to the ground. If it's too much, bring it back up. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Inhale to bring your hand back up. Exhale, chin to chest. And just let your head sway. Nice and gentle. Pausing in center, take your fingertips to your forehead and lift your head up. Now for those of you new to Yin Fusion, we do the flow. So the flow of yoga, hatha, we move with the seasons. And then the yin is held postures. Held postures is taking your time to spend some time there and finding your first edge of sensation. So we're going to come off this height onto your blanket and switch up the cross of your legs. Inhale to reach up. Palms are going to touch above your head and then come over to the right. Reaching over. And then take that arm all the way over to the front and you're going to tiptoe to your fingers all the way to the other side. And then come here and pause. Big breath in. Exhale, bring that hand down to the ground and tiptoe those fingers. Crawl them across. Other side. And exhaling, Coming across like your fingers are little spider fingers. And other side. Big breath in. Exhale, come around. And then finding center here, hands on your knees. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, rounding back, bring your belly button in towards your spine, chin to chest. Inhale, coming up, lift up through the heart. Opening the chest. Exhale, round it back. Belly button in, chin to chest. We're going to add on with our arms. Inhale, you're going to come up. Let your arms open, float up. Exhale, round it back, chin to chest, back of wrist touch in front of you. Inhale to lift up, open. Exhale, round it back, back of wrist touch. Inhale to lift and open. And exhale, round it back. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist, inhale in. The space between your shoulders opens, the back of the heart opens. Exhale, release the hands, bring them behind your back. Interlace the fingers and push away from yourself. Lift up through the heart. Inhale. Exhale, release your fingers. Other side. Gently take the left hand, grab the right wrist. Inhale in, or the opposite. Inhale in, between the shoulders. Open the back of the heart. Exhale, release the hands. Bring them behind you. Interlace the fingers and lift through the heart. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Good. We're getting to the shoulder lift, so we're going to come and crawl our fingers onto the right again, ground down, and then lift that left arm up and over. From here, back off a little bit with the right hand. Let that left shoulder fall away, and then you're going to spin your rib cage and look up. Open up with that arm. Exhale, reach around a big imaginary beach ball. Look under your armpit. Inhale, open up. Exhale, reach around. Big breath. And last time. Inhale. Exhale, open, reach around, chin to chest, looking under. And slowly come up. Hands on your knees. You're just going to do little circles here. Not too big. Just kind of swirling up your Kundalini energy. Kundalini energy is energy that lays dormant in the body. So we're just kind of waking it up there and at other direction. Not enough so it keeps us awake, just enough to inspire us the rest of the week. It is a Tuesday, and then slowly come back to center. Inhale, arms float up, palms touch, and then come over to the left. Come ground down with that left hand and then back off and then reach over. Right hand and his palm is to the ground, and then you're going to let the shoulder kind of move away from the ear. Spinning your rib cage up, look up, inhale. Exhale, reach around a big beach ball, look under the armpit. Inhale to open. Exhale, reach around, look under the left armpit. And last time, open up. Notice how each side is so different. Exhale, reach around. Perfect. Sitting up tall here, we're going to move around to all fours. Take your time. So first of all, find your blanket that it's in mid-mat. Knees are going to be supported, and I want you to grab your 2 blocks or your books and place them at the top of your mat because we're going to need those later on. Hello to everyone who joined. Coming to all fours, hands below shoulders, knees below the hips. Curl the toes under. Inhale, curl the tailbone. Spread your sit bones apart and look forward. If it's too much for the neck, you can look down at the ground. Exhale, rounding the spine. Bring your core in, so really work on the belly button to the spine, then push up, bringing chin to chest. Inhale, relax your belly, curl your tailbone, smile your sit bones apart. And then maybe looking forward if it's okay. Exhale, rounding, curl your tailbone in, push into the mat, belly button in, chin to chest. And now I want you guys to do 4 more, but don't think about the movement. Think of this full breath. As full as you can, and your exhale, you're letting all the breath out. Let that stale air out. All the stuff, all those thoughts, It's like stale thoughts just hanging out. Think about it, wringing it out, and then go through a next cycle. Don't think of the movement, think of the breath. Full breath in, full breath out. Find your rhythm of your breath. Noticing how you feel without judgment, just being in your body. There's nowhere else to be, nothing else to think about. Just being here in your body. Noticing how you feel. Full breath in, full breath out. Then you're going to find a neutral spine again. Look down at your hands. Index fingers are parallel. If your toes aren't curled yet, curl them under because you're going to lift your hips up to the sky for your downward dog. You can walk your feet wider, keep them hip width apart. You can play with your hands, ground down through the knuckles and let the head go. Really let it go. And you're going to nod your head. Yes, the back of the neck is relaxed. And now bend your right knee and stretch your left heel back. Now push into your right knuckles. Opposite hand to opposite foot. Pause here. And then other side. You're going to slowly bend the left knee. Stretch your right heel back and push into your left knuckles, your hands. And now just come back and forth. Walk it out. That's it. Walk, walk, walk. And come back down to all fours. Curl your toes under, sit back for a moment. And then you're going to rise up. Take your hands, bend them, and bring your elbows right below the wrist. Inhale, fingers back. Exhale, wrap your fingers and then your thumb and curl. This is begging puppy. Inhale, fingers back. Exhale, wrap them, then your thumb, and then curl. Inhale, last time. And wrap and curl. Now sit towards the heels. We'll do one more. Sit back. If it's too much, come forward. Inhale, fingers back. Exhale, wrapping. Circle around the front and curl. And then rise up. Shake out your wrist to the side. And then inhale, arms up. Exhale, down. Find the hands below the shoulders. You're going to curl your right toes under. This is called mermaid's pose. We haven't done it in this class yet. So you're going to curl your right toes under and use your right knee like it's a kickstand because you're going to think about just twirling that right foot out to the side. So I'll show you on this side if it's closer to you. Think of this as your right foot. You're going to keep your knee where it is and just twirl that right foot out and then come onto the side of the left foot. So you're going to just lift that hip high. That other leg is straight down the back of your mat and you're going to look up. And just breathe here. That back foot is supporting your body. Inhale. Exhale, look down to the ground and bring that back arm floating up, bicep to ear, and reach your fingertips away. And then full circle around, down to the ground, looking up to the sky. Exhale, arm around, look down, and full circle. This is your mermaid leg straight out to the side. Inhale up. Exhale over. We'll do one more. Inhale up, look up. Exhale, bring that arm around and to the ground. Take your time. Now bring that knee back safely, the foot back, the knee is safe, the joint is safe. Hands below shoulders. Curl the toes under. Just sit back towards the feet and just roll up for a second. Shake out your wrists. Give them a break. Inhale, lift up. Interlace your fingers and push up to the ceiling. Come up and out of your rib cage. Big breath. Exhale, release. Hands straight down to the mat. Now we're going to do the other side. Curl the left toes under. So I'll do it if that was easier for you, that I was facing you. So left toes curl under. Come to bring that foot onto the side and come onto the side of the right foot. Legs straight down the side of long side of your mat. The other one's coming out to the side. You're going to float that top arm up. Look up. Reach up. And then you're going to come bicep to ear. And this long line. This is your mermaid. Tail out to the side and just breathe here. That's it. Really nice. Feel the rib cage expanding. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then you're going to look down and let that arm come around, full circle. Inhale, look up. Exhale, full circle around. Inhale up. Full circle around. Inhale up. Full circle around. And bring that hand down to the ground. Bring your knees back below the hips, hands below shoulders. Curl the toes. Inhale, looking forward into cow pose. Spread your sit bones, look forward. Exhale. This time, downward dog. Lift your hips up and back. Drop the head. Walk the feet hip width apart and pedal out your legs. That's it. Let your head go. Let the neck relax. Push into the knuckles. Keep your dog moving. You're pedaling out the legs. Now pause here. Your heels can be lifted. Push down into the mat. Broaden your shoulders and think about the heart getting sent towards your feet. Now you feel it. Let the head go. And then slowly bend your knees and come down to the mat. So this is our first yin pose tonight. It is one of the dragons. It's baby dragon. So what we need is 2 blocks. You're going to place 1 block here and 1 block here. And I'd like you to get your Harry Potter books or your thicker books too. If we need, they can go higher or higher still. If you are with books, they have to stay at that height. So if you need to go higher, soup cans are really great, or a big can of stew, because it can go higher and you can push down on it. So from here, hands below shoulders again. We're going to go back to downward dog. And we're going to float our right leg up. Big inhale. Exhale, you bend the knee, look forward, and take a step forward. Back knee down. Now this can also look like this. Just from all fours, reaching back, grab that right leg and bring it forward. Now find your blocks. And I want you to bring them on either side of that foot. Okay? You're going to scooch your toe, one scooch forward, and bring your knee right above the ankle. Now, if that's too much of an opening, you're going to scooch your toes back as much as they need to be to bring that angle more like a right angle, so more like the hip above the knee. So you play with your edge tonight, where you need to be for your body. You look down at the ground, your hand is either side of that foot, and relax the head. You're finding your edge and you're spending time there. We're going to spend 1 minute here. Nice big breaths. Remember, in yin, it's our first edge. It's not the softest edge. It's not that deep edge. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, feel the burn. You're not there. You're at, I feel sensation. I feel sensation, and I'm going to hang out there. I'm going to use my breath. This is really good for the internal organs too. Opening up the hip, we're squeezing and soaking on that whole right side of your body. If you need it higher, it's too high, come up a little higher. Again, you're finding your edge today. 1 more minute, you're doing really good. Gaze down, soften the face. Big breath in and out. And then slowly make your way up. So your hands are now on the top of the thigh. You're pushing down, maybe come to the top of your foot and push into that top of your foot to really find the shoulders coming back. If you need balance, curl the toes back under. Shoulders back. Good. Now this is lifted dragon. Shoulders come back and you're just holding here. It should be tricky for balancing, so I want you to pull the core in and really reach up tall. Back knee is 100% supported the entire time. If it's starting to feel sore, you need more padding under it. Inhale here, big exhale. And then inhale, float your arms up. Exhale, circle back for 1. Inhale up. Circle back for 2. Inhale up. Circle back for 3. Beautiful. Arms up, palms touch. Bring your hands behind the back of your head, gazing forward powerfully. Stay here or come to let the back of your head come into the forearms. Lift up through the heart. Feel the stretch on the left side of your body. Ground down through the right heel. Find your balance. Core is in. Inhale. Exhale, look forward. Bring your arms up. And now coming down, find your blocks. Find fingertips on your blocks. Curl your toes under and lift your back knee up, coming to a low lunge. This is powerful. Reach your crown forward. That's it. Some of you are going to come up higher on your blocks. Use your blocks pushing your weight down, okay? Some of you are low here, flat hands. Some of you are on fingertips. Find what works. Really lunging forward energetically. Exhale, drop your back knee. Good job. Plant that left hand, belly button in. Exhale, twist inward. Float your arm up, look to the side. Reach your crown. Inhale. Exhale, circle your wrists. Inhale, circle the wrist the other way, exhaling. Bring that arm around and down. Really nice work. Now you're listening closely. Inhale. Exhale. Start to slide that back left hip back over the knee. If it's not there yet, some of you are back there, that's okay. Slide your blocks back and come on a higher height if you can. Beside the knee. Now scoot your toes forward and flex your toes back, getting into your hamstrings. Lift with your heart and bow down. Now some of you don't have these higher blocks. Those are really nice for this hamstring stretch. If you don't, you're just being really mindful where you're at. First, scoot your toes forward, and then you're coming back and bring those blocks or books on either side of your knee. Leading with your heart and bowing any amount forward. You're bringing your right hip back. Breathe into the hamstring. This is for you who have been skiing a little bit. Breathe here. Breathe into the hamstring. If it's too much, relax your foot. If you're curling back, it's too much, just let the foot relax. To have this active, you're curling the toes slightly. Inhale, reach your crown. Exhale, bowing down. One more inhale. If you can, the blocks on the highest height is the best. I'm just showing book way because most people don't have blocks, yoga blocks at home. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly slide your heel back first. Then bend your knee above your ankle. Slide your blocks forward. And then slowly fingertips down. Sliding that heel back. Taking your time to bring your hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. And come into downward dog. Good. Bend the knees and come to the back of your mat. Come into a forward fold. Look down at your feet. You're going to bend the knees a lot and bring your hands under your feet until the toes come to your wrist creases. So bring the toes to the wrist creases. Knees are bent. And then let the head go and think about getting those legs straight. This is gorilla pose. Let the head go. Also really good for the internal organs. A little bit of wrists. Then bend the knees again. Walk your hands out and come into a forward fold, grabbing opposite elbows. Let it go. Bend the knees if it's too much for those hamstrings. Release the hands. Bring your hands to low back. Elbows point up. Inhale, rise up. So at the back of your mat now. Stay back there. Come into mountain pose. Shrug your shoulders up and back. Inhale, lift your arms up. Swan dive down. Once you're at the top, swan dive down, hinge forward. Hands slide to the top of the thighs. Elbows in, and you're coming to a high flat back. So look down at the ground. I want you to reach your crown. And then sit back as if you're squatting into, you don't want to sit in that chair. You're just hovering above it, and then your arms are coming up. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, float the arms up, palms touch. Some of you can look up when your palms touch. Exhale, swan dive down, hinge from the hips. Hands slide up to the top of the thighs, elbows in, reach your crown. Exhale, sit back, hands stay on your thighs, and then float them up, chair pose. Inhale, rise. Hands to heart. Last time, up. Palms touch, some of you look up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Flat back, hands to the shins, sliding up to the top of the thighs, elbows in, look down at the ground, reach your crown forward. Exhale, hands onto those thighs, sit back, and then bring your arms up, chair pose. Inhale, rise. Hands to heart center. Last time, up. Swan dive down, forward fold, exhale. Flat back, hands can stay at your shins this time if you like that. Exhale, crawl down your mat, take your time. Crawling, crawling, crawling until you get to all fours, supporting the knees. Hands below shoulders, curl the toes, downward dog. Walk your legs. Keep it moving. And then pause in your downward dog, ground down through the hands. Broaden the shoulders. Heels can be lifted, no problem. Lift your left leg up, look forward, and step forward, back knee down. This is alternative way, just grabbing it and stepping it forward. Now find your blocks for our yin pose, either side of that foot. Scoot your toes, and then bring your knee above your ankles. Scoot your toes and find your edge. Now my edge on this side might be a little bit backing off, so scooching the toes back. Because we know we're going to hold here. Knee stays there, hands on either side of that foot, massaging the inner organs on the left. Find your edge, guys. Now soften your face. You can come into fists here too, which is a really nice way to give the break to your hands. Some of you are up on blocks, so I want you to find where it feels good. I'm just showing as if I had books, because books are lower. Maybe you have 2 sets of books that you can stack. Relaxing here. This is baby dragon. You're really just finding that opening. You're scooching your toes forward and bending your knee until you find that edge in that back hip and you're hanging out there. Not too far, your first soft edge. And just spend time there. Bow your head down. Big breaths in and out. Letting go of that busy brain, letting go of your thoughts. Being in your body. Drop into the body, drop into the heart. Feel how you're feeling in the hips. Soften the face. Soften the throat. Always finding that stillness in your yin pose. Spending time there. Three breaths in and out. In and out. In and out. Slowly take your time, coming up on fingertips, belly button in and rise up. Your hands are now on the thighs, shoulders back. Alternatively, you're staying here with lifted blocks. Pull in the core. Come, if you can, to the top of your foot and push the foot down. Push the top of the foot down. Find your core balance and reach up tall. And then if you can, fold the arms up. Breathe. Inhale. Then exhale. Everyone bring your hands back down to the thighs. We're going to hold for another moment before we do the movement. Gaze is forward and powerfully You can have the toes curled for balance if it doesn't feel good. Notice if your core is turned off. Can you turn it back on? Can you keep your knee right above the heel as you ground down through the heel for balance? Balance is so tricky. Curl your back toes under, and now lift the arms up. Reach up. Nice work. Exhale, roll it forward for 1. Inhale up, forward for 2. Now switch up the directions. Inhale up, exhale back for 1. Inhale up, exhale back for 2. Inhale, palms touch. Exhale behind your head, elbows point up to the ceiling. Gaze is powerful forward. Now notice the belly, pull it in again. Exhale, let the head come back into the forearms. If that feels okay, otherwise just look forward. Where are you at today? Inhale. Exhale, looking forward, bring your hands up. Exhale, find your block. Remember this low, powerful lunge? It's a really powerful poses here for the hips. Inhale, curl the toes. Exhale, lift your back, knee up. Now, if you have blocks, I'd like you to be in a higher height. This is ergonomically better for the body. Reach your crown forward and really charge powerfully forward. If you have books, that's okay too. You're charging forward with a crown. Breathe here. One more inhale. Exhale, drop your back knee. Good. Keep your right hand below your shoulder, belly button in towards the spine. Inhale, and then bring your block below the shoulder. Slide it away from the foot. And now you're going to turn inwards. That's it. Breathe. Lots of work for the back. This is really good for the spine. Inhale, exhale, bring that arm bicep to ear, look down, and then bring that arm around. Find your other block and slowly start to slide your hip, your back right hip over the knee, and slide your blocks either side of that front knee. I'd like you to be on higher height, then scoot your toes forward, and then slide your toes back, inhaling, lifting forward, and then exhale, bowing down. Now, because not all of us have blocks, to come out first, you always have to slide your heel back. So I'm going to come and show you from a book point of view. Slide those blocks back either side of that knee, scooch the toes, and then find your edge here. Slide your left hip back. Actively, gently, you can think about the toes coming up towards you, or relax the foot if it's too much. This is where you play with your edges as you breathe into the hamstrings. Bow down. Back of the neck is relaxed, and breathe into the hamstrings, inhaling and exhaling. Soften the face. Really nice. In. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Last time in. Exhaling out. Looking forward, slide your heel back first. Bend the knee so it's above your ankle, and slide your blocks forward and out to the side. Then bring your fingertips down, come into the fingertips, slide your left foot back to rejoin. Hands below shoulders, knees below the hips, curl the toes under. Inhale into cow pose, spreading sit bones apart, looking forward. Exhale, downward dog. Pedal out those legs. And then bend the knees, and like we did before, crawl back to the back of your mat into a forward fold at the back. Grab opposite elbows, hang out here in a forward fold. You can bend the knees if your hamstrings are still tight. Let the head go. And now you're going to release the hands, walk your feet together, slide them together, big toes touch, heels touch. Sit back into chair's pose, arms up. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring your hands together, interlace, and reach up. Reaching up, hands are interlaced, pushing up to the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands. Good. Now inhale, shrug shoulders up and down the back. Shrug shoulders up and down the back. One more. Up and down the back. Now we're going to get rid of our blanket in the middle of our mat. We're going to toss it to the side and come to the top of your mat. Walk all the way up. Feet hip width apart. Mountain pose. Looking forward, powerfully pull in the core. Again, shrug shoulders up and back. Feel solid. Feel your feet on your mat. Inhale, float the arms up. Palms touch. Exhale, swan dive, down, forward fold. Flat back, hands to the shins or the upper thighs, whatever you like, brother. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back into plank. Lower to the knees if you need to. From plank, we're all going to lower to the knees and lower down with control to the ground. Hands beside the heart. You're going to come to the tops of the feet and slide the hands forward for Sphinx pose. Elbows are right below the shoulders. Maybe you can't see with that block there. But your elbows are now right below the shoulders, not forward, not too far back. Right below the shoulders here, the tops of the feet are here. Palms down. And you're just lifting forward with the heart. This is great for the thyroid, but some people feel pressure in the head. If this is you, I want you to just look down and breathe here. Now what I'm finding is that a lot of people working at home are getting bad habits sitting at their desks and their backs are starting to hurt them. So that's where we're focusing on low back, upper back, twists. We're kind of just rejuvenating the spine. Our spine wants to move to be healthy. Soften the face, soften the throat. Remember finding your edge and spending time there. If you've had enough, you always can come out. Remember to listen to your body. Every day, you're different. If it's too much, you're just really listening. A few more breaths. Find the softness in your face. Softness with your breath, breathing normally. Inhaling. Big exhale out. 2 more like that. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhaling out. Inhale in. Exhale, slowly bring your elbows out to the sides as you lower down. Stack your hands on top of each other like pancakes. Let your forehead come down and just sway. Gentlemen, being gentle as you sway. Nice and gentle with yourself. And then slowly come to a stop. I want you to make sure there's nothing out to the side of you. So I had a block there. I'm going to move anything forward. I have a glass of water. I'm going to move it back. I'm going to bring my forehead down to the mat and bring my arms out to a T, straight out to the sides. So I'm finding a good height for my shoulder. This is called broken wing, this pose. I want you guys to listen very carefully. Forehead down. You're going to slowly bend your right knee. Bend the right knee. Flex the right foot towards the ceiling. Inhale here, and you're going to slowly, gently start to roll over to the left hip. So roll on top. Keep your left arm straight out to the side and plant your right foot down. Now our blocks are close there. I want you to grab your block or book and place it under your head. So the sole of your right foot is in the ground. Your left hip is now below the right, and you're opening up your shoulder on the left. You can float your right arm up and bring it behind you at the small of your back, so the back of the hand there, or keep that right hand to the ground. And I'm just going to keep mine to the ground. Some of you are more advanced. You're going to come with your back of your hand there. But again, remember, don't let your ego take over here. Just do what feels good. Find your edge and breathe. Some of you don't need a block under your head. It feels better without it, but I feel way better with a block and it's on the lowest height, or sliding a book under. Big breath in and out. In and out. In and out. Slowly push your blocks away if it's under your head. Let your head come down and slowly roll back to the front of your body. Take your time to get there. And then you're going to bring your hand back under below your forehead. Stack your hands and swish hips. Again, gentlemen, be very gentle as you swish your hips left to right on the ground. Just swishing. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Now, we're never doing poses if they don't feel good. If it pushes too much, you just skip it. If you get numbness, pain, or tingling, it's not good. We don't do the pose if we get numbness, pain, or tingling. Now release your hands so your forehead down, chin is slightly tucked. Stretch your arms straight out to the sides. At shoulder height, palms down like the letter T. Now you're going to bend your left knees. The sole of your foot is flexed to the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, roll into the right hip. Take your time rolling to the right hip, and then lift that foot up and around, planting the sole of your left foot into the ground. From here, you can reach up and grab your block under your head if that feels good. So for me, for some reason, I think it's because my earbuds are in. That bugs me. Again, you're just finding where it feels good for you today. Breathing, some of you are going to take that left arm up and bring the back of the hand to the small of your back. If it's too much, come out, guys. This is the deepest shoulder sequence there is in yin. This is the absolute deepest shoulder stretch. So if it's too much or you're getting numbness or tingling, come out immediately. Okay? Really listen to your body. Some of you are having your hands here. Some of you have the block under. Breathe. One more inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Last one. In. Exhale. If your block is supporting your head, take the block out with your hand and then slowly inhaling. Exhale, coming back to the front of your body. Take your time and then bend that right elbow, hands stack, and swish your hips. Swish, swish, swish. And then from here, slide your hands beside the chest, push yourself up to all fours. Knees below the hips, hands below the shoulders, index fingers parallel, curl the toes. Inhale, exhale, downward dog. Pedal out your legs. And then you're going to come into a child's pose. So widen the knees, big toes touch, sit back towards the heels. Now some of you need a blanket. So unfold a blanket and just have it behind the back of the knees so there's a little bit more support. Some of you will stack your fists below the forehead, resting your forehead on the third eye. Some of you will stretch your arms forward, tucking chin down. But this is where you're really connecting with yourself, noticing where you want to be tonight. Filling up your whole back body. And just breathing here. Some of you, child's pose isn't comfortable and you're more forward, lifting your hips above your knees, resting your forearms down, hands stacked, and elbows out to the side. Now this is just a resting pose. So you're kind of taking it where your body's at and just meeting your body where it's at. Just notice if you can soften the face and let go of any tension in the body. Imagine your back filling up with life source, with chi, with prana. Fill it up with life as full as you can, and exhale through the mouth, letting go of stress, fear, and anxiety. Again, fill up the whole back body with chi, with prana, with life. Exhaling out any worries, any doubts, any self-judgments you need to release. Again, filling up with life force, chi, joy, prana. Exhaling out through the mouth, releasing any stress, fears, deadlines, anything. Release. Nothing else matters but this body, this heart, feeling grounded with the earth beneath you. And when you're ready, big breath in and out, slowly coming up. Take your time. Good. And then coming to all fours again, get rid of if you had any balls, blocks or anything under there. Hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, curl the toes. Inhale, looking forward into your cow pose, spread your sit bones apart. Exhale, downward dog. Take your time. Pedal your legs if it feels good, or stay still in downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees, and tiptoe to the front of your mat. Coming into a forward fold. Let the thighs and chest meet. Bend the knees and float the arms up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Hands to heart center. And then let your shoulders relax. And let your hands go. So tonight we're going to do a balancing pose. We're going to do it because it's tricky. And I was talking about it with someone, and I think they were overthinking it, because you might think this is the trickiest pose you've ever seen in your life. And if it is, you do a different pose. What we're going to do is start with the right side first. It's called dancer's pose. You're going to look forward and find your drishti, your focus point. Shoulders back, pull the core in. I'm going to face you so it's a little bit easier. Pull the core in, don't overthink it. Let your right hand come out like you're asking for some money. Money, please. Yes, yes, yes. Bring it all in. And now you're going to shift your weight into that left leg, and you're going to reach back and grab the inner foot. Now, some of you can't reach your foot. You know what I want you to do? I want you to grab a sock. So grab a sock. Grab your sock. I have wool socks. And you're going to reach back, and you're going to grab either side of your sock. Okay? And just hold that there. Right? So grab that, or a strap, but everyone has a sock, right? And you're just holding your pieces of the sock or the inner arch. Yeah? You got it? Now I'll just hold this. This is hard. This is step one. This is great to just balance. We want to find balance in this time and any time in our lives. Inhale, lift your left arm up, and staying here, this is perfect place to be. Pull in the core and find that balancing point. Find somewhere in the room. It's okay if you're wobbling and coming out. You can be holding your sock. If you want to go further, take an inhale. And exhale, you're going to tip forward and push, kick into that right hand. So kick into your right hand. That's it. Kick into your right hand. Maybe you're coming more forward. Kick into your right hand. That's it. Kick into your right hand. It's okay if you come out. And then slowly inhale up. Good. Release the foot, but keep your foot up. Lift both arms up, lift your knee up, and then take a big step behind you with that right foot and come on the ball of your back foot. In a high lunge, bring your front knee over your ankle. Always reach up here. Open up again through the hip flexor. Inhale, exhale, open warrior two. Back foot is now parallel with the back of your mat. Bend your knee over your ankle. Shoulders back at shoulder height, palm down. Inhale, straighten up, zipper up that chi to the heart. Trust, pull it in, send it out. Everything happens for a reason. There are huge shifts in your life. Maybe there's not. It's okay. Everything happens for a reason. Push it out. Inhale, trust for the universe, for the higher source, for spirituality, pushing out any doubt. Inhale, courage, joy, love, sending out doubt, fear, and worry. Palms down. Inhale, open your front palm, reverse warrior. Breathe and look up. Inhale, exhale, side angle. Top hand comes down. Float that arm up. And now you're going to bring bicep to ear. Remember when we did mermaid's pose? This is the full extension standing. You can look down at the ground or up to the ceiling or forward, whatever your neck likes, wherever you like. And then inhale, floating up. Good. Look forward, inhale, exhale, windmill down to the ground. Take your time. Step back into plank. From plank, we're just going to lift our toes up a little on the right side, hover above the ground, and lower. Left side with a har, lower with a hare. Har, hare. This is powerful chanting. Har, hare. Bringing our true selves back. Har, hare, har, hare. A few inches up. Har, hare. Drop to the knees if it's too much. Har, hare. Downward dog. Good. Bend the knees. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe to the front of your mat. And come into a forward fold. Big toes touch, heels touch. Sit back. Chair pose, arms up if that feels okay. And float up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shoulders back. All right, now shake it out. Shake it out. Shake the legs. Now, what have people told you? What have you seen? What is hanging onto you that you can brush off? What S-H-I-T can you brush off? Get it off the heart. Get it off your third eye. Get it out of your head. Brush the back of the head. What other people's crap can you, other people's bad energy, bad vibes, shake it off. Back of the body too. All right, we're reset, okay? Come back to mountain pose. Open through the heart. Belly button in, shrug your shoulders up and back, take an inhale, exhale. Again, if we like that sock, we're gonna reach down and grab that sock. You can keep it over your shoulders so it's ready, okay? Mountain pose, belly button in, reach up. Find your focal point as you shift your weight into that right leg. Hands can be to hips, some people find that helpful. Now you're gonna ask for money on this side. All the money, all the abundance, pull it in. All right, we're asking for money with our left hand, shifting the weight into our right leg. You're gonna reach back. Now, I've got my sock here, so I can hook it around and I'll grab each side of the sock. So that's okay if you can't reach that foot, right? Otherwise, you're coming to the inside of that arch of your left foot. Now you can stay here, hip above the knee. It's great for the thigh, belly button in. Now some of you are gonna go further and float that right arm up. Breathe. Find your focus. Find the softness in the face, even smiling. Inhale. Exhale, push into that hand. Push, kick into your left hand. Maybe you're coming a little forward. Kick into the hand. Kick into the hand. Maybe you're coming forward. Kick into the hand. Maybe you're coming forward. If you're coming out, that's okay. Kick into the hand. Beautiful. And then inhale, slowly coming up. Release your left foot. Let your arms float up. Bring that knee right up and then take a big step behind you with the left foot. Plant the toes down. Reach your arms up. High lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Your back foot is now parallel with the back of your mat. Your front foot, if it's way far forward, you're just going to scoot your back foot back. Heel to arch alignment. Float your arms up. Front knee over your ankle. Shoulders height. Warrior two. Inhale, trust. Try not to lock your front knee when you're coming up into these movements. Zippering up to heart. Exhale, pushing out negativity. Inhale, positivity, optimism, pushing out the doubt. You can have anything you want in this lifetime. Inhaling possibility, sending out fear. Inhale, trust, inhale, love. Sending out fear, anxiety, worry. Palms down. Inhale, open your front palm. Reverse warrior. Inhale and exhale, bend that elbow, coming to the full and final pose today. Good work. Lift your arms up. Exhale, bicep towards the ear, palm to the earth, knee over your ankle. Side angle pose, which is that full extension of mermaid lifted. Inhale to come up. Exhale, windmill down, back knee comes to the mat. Take your time. Slide your front foot back. Hands below shoulders, knees below hips, downward dog. And then knees wide, big toes touch. And come back into a little child's pose for a moment. Stacking hands below the fists is nice. Keeping your eyebrow, that third eye space, on your stacked fists, or you're reaching forward. Some of you even like child's pose with your knees together and your arms back. Some of you like to just stack the hands. You're doing the version you want. Fill your whole back body with breath, with prana, with life, with joy, and exhale any stress, overwhelm. Any feelings of overwhelm, release them back into the earth. And it's okay to have these feelings. We just want to reset the body. Inhale again. Trust for this body, trust for the universe, trust for this life. Exhale through the mouth. What are you releasing? Inhale again. What do you need to release through the mouth? And then slowly make your way up. So you're just coming over to your side hip and let your legs come out in front of you and scooch down the mat. We're just going to give our legs a little shake. So we're going to set up for a restorative pose. You're going to take your blanket, you're going to unfold it mid-mat so it's long. The length is long here. Then you're going to take your bolster and lay it down. Now some of you don't have a bolster, and that's okay. You're going to take two big pillows and stack them on top of each other. Now you're going to take one of your blocks and just prop up the end. Okay? Now we're going to spin around again, and we're going to bring our right hip right into that bolster. My knees are facing the same direction. Right hip is snug, right against my bolster, right against my pillows. Ready? Inhale in, belly button to spine. And you're going to exhale. So we're going to be here for a while, guys. If you are not comfortable, you can come out and go grab more stuff in your house. You might need more pillows. Okay, inhale here. Belly button in. Exhale slowly. Twist towards your bolster. Keep your knees facing, hands to either side. Inhale, find length. Exhale, slowly let your belly come down, chest come down, and look in the same direction as your knees. Hands down, relax, let go. Let it go. Now, I'm going to have to take my earbuds out, so I hope none of you talk or call to me, because that's how I hear you. I'll put them in after. Because that feels weird. So if you have things in your ear, it doesn't feel good. Now, some of you might feel your head needs a little higher cushioning, so you can put something there to support your head more. If you'd like, you can cover your knee with your blanket. If you have someone else in your family there, I want you to get them to cover you in a duvet or something so you can just be really cozy here. This is a restorative twist. So the ground is supporting you completely, really good for your organs of digestion, really good for your ovaries as well.
This is great for fertility. This is great for your monthly cycle. This is just great for digestion. But most of all, it's for the spine. We're getting a nice twist. We're resetting the nervous system. Let yourself go. Let yourself be supported. If this does not feel good, you just need better props. You need a better pillow system. So just slowly to come out, if you need to get more props, just roll your head in first and push yourself up. And go, take your time though. Find your breath first. Don't, if you're dizzy, just wait until that sensation passes, then you can find more pillows in your space. Or maybe another book under the front end. So it's on the lowest height. Now you're gonna let go. I'm gonna time this for 3 more minutes, and I'm not going to talk, and I'm just going to watch the clock. So really let yourself go here. If some of you need more sensation, you can always look in the other direction of your knees. Just really notice what it feels good for your body, your spine, and your neck. You're not going to your deepest edge, you're just your first edge. Slowly bring awareness to your breath. Notice the breath in your body. Notice the breath as it comes down the spine when you're in a position like this. Inhaling through the nose, fill up the back body. Exhaling through the mouth. And then inhaling. Exhale, you're going to look at the same direction as your knees if you're not looking the same direction as your knees. And then roll your forehead down to your bolster. Take an inhale. Hands now slide back a little bit. Palms down and push yourself up. Take your time. Coming up here. Notice how you feel. And then you're slowly going to rotate your sacrum to the low back comes to your bolster. Now you're going to roll around and bring that opposite left hip to your bolster. Knees pulling the same way. I'm going to switch up so I can still look at you guys. So the left hip is right against that snug against your bolster. Knees point in the same direction. Sit up tall here. Make sure your feet feel comfortable. You might want to put on socks if they got a little cold. Belly button in. Sit up tall. Inhale. Exhale. One hand on either side of your bolster. You're twisting towards here. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Let your body melt over top. And then let your head look in the same direction as your knees. Find where it feels good for your shoulders. Palms down. No numbness. No tingling. No pain. It should feel like the ground is supporting you in this restorative twist. Some of you might need a little bit of extra cushion under just the head on top of your pillows. Kind of like a little fleecy blanket. Now some of you are going to make this twist even more by looking in the opposite direction of your knees. But we're spending 5 minutes here like we did on the other side. I want you to really unwind, get comfortable. If someone's in your space, maybe they can cover you in a blanket. You're letting this kind of unwind. When we do twists, we're resetting the nervous system. You might feel woozy when you come out of the poses. We're hitting the reset button. The nervous system is reset. Really good for the inner organs. It's really great for female cycles, for fertility, for a good sleep. So just allow your body to melt here. And most important, we're ending the class in a way to reset the nervous system and wring out the body of the toxins. Cold and flu seasons here, so you're just wringing out, you're recharging your whole immune system. Now I want you just to let go. I'm going to keep time. You're going to be here for another 4 minutes. If you're looking the other way and it becomes too much for your body, really listen to yourself. These holds need to be where you feel comfortable, where you feel safe and you're not pushing it yourself to the max. Breathe in a way that's normal and let yourself go. Let the muscles go. Where are you holding on to tension? In the throat, in the shoulders? Where can you let that tension melt away? If your mind is chattering, bring it back to your breath. I breathe in. I breathe out. I breathe in. I breathe out.
Slowly bringing awareness to your breath. If you're looking away from your knees, I want you to slowly bring the gaze back to the same direction as your knees, but your eyes can be closed or opened, whatever feels right. I just want you to feel the support of this bolster, of the earth beneath it, and picture the earth under that. Picture the roots in the earth. Go down deeper and deeper and deeper and know that the earth, the center of the core, is supporting you. It's charging your body, always there for support, for energy, for grounding. Take a deep breath in through the nose into your whole spine. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose for the whole spine. Exhaling through the mouth. Slowly roll your forehead towards the bolster and push yourself up. You're going to get rid of that bolster block. Bring the bolster so it's more of a different direction to support the back of your legs, because you're going to bring yourself around, grab your blanket under the knees. Just fold it up, plop it to the back of your mat, and then swing yourself around. Keep your bolster so it's ready there. Take your time to do that, by the way, if you need a little more time. Bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Some of you like to bring your head up into a little ball and then release into Shavasana. Let your legs come out. Knees are bent. The back of thighs are supported by that pillow, or the back of the knees are supported, whatever feels better. Chin slightly tucked. Tuck in that blanket to hug your neck, and then roll in the tops of the sides to just lift that head up so it's a golden egg at the center. Chin is slightly tucked. It's nice that blanket is there for that. Open the palms, chin down. Open the heart. And just let go for these last 2 minutes. So ideally, I'd like you guys to be here for 8 minutes. But I really felt tonight it was important to do that longer restorative hold. So what you can soak in for these last 2 minutes, and if you can just drift off, ignore me, let this video end, keep going, you can come in Shavasana or pause the video so that you can just keep resting and allow this work to integrate into every cell. That work we did with the tissues in the spine, the hips, the neck, the shoulders, let it all integrate in each cell. And just be here. Let prana and chi, life force, flow through you. Being open with the heart. So some of you are going to keep resting here because you need to rest. For the sake of time, I'm going to slowly bring you back by bringing awareness to your breath. Breathe and just feel the breath in your body. Now I want you to focus on the chest. Inhale around the heart. Exhaling through the mouth. Empty out the breath. 2 more. Inhale to the heart. Full breath into the heart center. Exhale, let it go. And the last one, inhale in. Exhaling out. Bringing awareness to fingers and toes, wiggling them, maybe circling your wrists and ankles. Bend one knee at a time and just slide that pillow bolster away. Bring one knee at a time to your chest and then roll over to your right side. Take your time to roll. Pause on the side, rolled up. And then take your top hand, inhaling, and on your exhale, push yourself up. Take your time to come up. If you have a bolster close by, you can lift yourself up. And I just want to start end the class how we started, with a hand on the heart. This beautiful heart of yours, and I want you to notice how you feel. How do you feel in this moment? Do you feel different? Has your energy shifted? Have you let anything go? Do you feel more grounded and calm? Just noticing that and not judging wherever you're at. Let your hands slide down. We're going to reach out for gratitude tonight for each other, for this body, for this breath. Exhale, hands to heart center. The light in my heart bows to the light in yours. Namaste.